Hi, my name is Rachel Coles, and the TED Talk that I decided to do was Steve Jobs' Live Before You Die. Steve Jobs, the CEO and co-founder of Apple and Pixar, and the brain behind majority of the technology that we use today, explains in his 2005 Stanford University commencement speech, through 3 different stories, that there will always be setbacks in life. But no matter what, you work through those setbacks. You turn them into motivation, you work around them, you push through them, you learn from them, and you continue to keep fighting for what you love to do in order to do what you love. In his first story that he calls Connecting the Dots, he explains the adoption process he went through when he was younger. He explains how his biological mother wanted him to be adopted by college graduate parents. But his adoptive parents, in fact, ended up not being college graduates. But after relentlessly convincing his mother that he would indeed attend college and graduate, she finally signed the adoption papers. And Steve Jobs did in fact attend college for 6 months until he decided to drop out. He was convinced that the classes he was taking, paying all this money for, didn't interest him and wouldn't help him do what he loved. While he was dropped out, he paid to take one course at Reed College, a calligraphy class. Reed College at the time was known to have the best calligraphy program ever. He attended this class, and even though dropping out of college may not have been the best time of his life, taking this calligraphy class helped him be able to incorporate the amazing font into the first Mac that he ever made. His second story, that he calls Lost in Love, explains how he got to do what he loved and was passionate about at such a young age, starting Apple up before he was 30 years old and accomplishing that much. But he also explains how he got fired from a company that he started. And although he didn't understand how someone can be fired from a company that they started and that they own, he also explains that it allowed him to enter the most creative time of his life, and emphasize that even though it was horrible that he got fired, he wouldn't have ended up where he was and wouldn't have been able to go through that creative time if it weren't for him getting fired from that company. He states that you've got to find what you love, and that's true as for work as it is your lover. His third story explains his diagnosis of cancer. It explains the hardship that he went through, not only himself, but with his wife and his kids, explaining that he only has 3 to 6 months left to live. It inspired him to live every day to the fullest. He explains to the 2005 graduating class that the life cycle is to clear out the old to make room for the new. He tells the 2005 graduating class that they are the new, and that they will go through this life cycle, and they will have a limited life, and they can't live it by other people's opinions, and they need to follow their heart. Steve's call of adventure started with dropping out of college, getting fired from his own company, and being diagnosed with cancer. Instead of letting all those situations stop him and demotivate him and set him back, he accepted them and turned them into motivation. His storytelling was very effective. He did a great job at keeping a balance between making it a commencement speech and making it personal and keeping the audience intrigued and involved and interested. His stories also all included conflict, vivid detail, characters, and clear themes. All of his stories were meaningful, insightful, as well as persuasive. The moral of all of his stories were to live life to the fullest and not to let anything stop you from doing what you get to love. He ended with a quote that states, "You can't connect the dots looking forward. You can only connect them looking backwards. So you have to trust that the dots will somehow connect in your future. You have to trust in something. You got destiny, life, karma, whatever, by believing that the dots will connect down the road. And you will give the confidence to follow your heart, even when it leads you off the well-worn path, and that will make all the distance." His call of action throughout his speech was to live before you die, and to use setbacks as motivation, and to find a way to do what you love, no matter what. I think it was very effective, especially to the class of 2005 graduates who are about to go into the real world and are about to face a lot of rejection and a lot of failure. Everyone knows life is limited, but a lot of times people just settle instead of to keep trying and fighting for what you love to do.